We have one more UV map to create. Promise, just one more. And this one's going to be a die-cut UV. Basically, it'll be the box laid flat as if it had been freshly cut and completely unfolded. So we're going to call this die-cut UVs. And we're going to copy the full unstacked version of the UV map and paste it on top of this one. Alright, so now we have this UV map. And we want to work with just the outward-facing polygons at the moment. We don't want to worry too much about the inward-facing ones. So let's go ahead and paint select the islands we know we're going to use. And we're also going to be using these connecting pieces that we worked on in the last video. So these two islands here and these three there. So right bracket to select all of these. And then we'll hide these here. And then we'll select all the remaining portions in that section of the UV space. We'll move that on down to another section of the UV space. You don't unhide. And now let's select all of these and Shift H. I guess we could have just inverted the hidden, but whatever. Okay, so what we want to do is start with the back part here. So we know that the back pretty much connects to nearly everything. Actually, this is the main piece, but we'll start with this one and connect it up to that island right there. And the first thing we want to take a look at is if we're looking at it straight on from the back side of the box, do the islands correspond to the UV space? And they do. So that's fine. If it didn't, we need to mirror the UVs over, and we're probably going to end up doing that for some of these islands, or at least rotating them around. We'll see as we go along. So let's select this edge here, and it looks like that island is the one we want to move first. Let's go ahead and just get everything kind of lined up in the way we want to connect them together. So now we know it's that one. And then, let's see, we've got this island here. So I'm just going to move all of them in a perfect row to get them, oops, right bracket. Then we can move it. So we're going to just position them in the order that we're going to be connecting them together. So now this island, and then we have this island here. Okay. And the connection point for this right here goes up and around there, and it looks like this island here is the one we want for that, and I believe it probably goes right there. We'll find out, of course. And this one will go right here, which logically means this one goes on the bottom, and so does this. Of course, we'll find out. Alright, so now let's select these edges on this island here. I'm going to use the up arrow, and that happens to be the wrong side. So you can see that this side of the island, these edges here, don't connect up to this island right here, which means, yeah, these ones correspond, which means we could probably just select the island and rotate it. I'm going to hold control to constrain it, rotate it 100 degrees, I'm sorry, 180 degrees, and let's select the edges to make sure they correspond in the UV space. And they look like they connect up just fine. So we're going to move and sew this with the unselected, and it should pop right over. And now let's select this set of edges. Looks like that island needs rotated, but it should rotate automatically, which we probably could have done with the last one, but I like to show a number of different ways. So let's move and sew with the selected one, and it looks like it flipped over just fine. Now let's do this one here. Okay, so that one's the opposite side, and it looks like this one is the same. So we can just move and sew that with unselected, and now we'll grab this edge here, select that up to the end there, and let's make sure that this edge right here should correspond with that one right there, and the next one should connect up to that one there, and so on. So let's just select those and see. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so we'll select all those, and then we'll move and so to selected. It pops right into place. Okay, now let's grab this one here. Okay, this one's a little different. If you notice, they're actually upside down compared to the unselected purple edges there. And what we need to do is actually mirror this island. So let's select it, and it needs to be mirrored on the U. So let's mirror that, and we're at negative 0.6 on the, I'm sorry, I said U, I meant V. We need to mirror that on the negative axis. So it's negative 0.6. Hopefully it didn't move too oh, that was the U that I was reading right there, not the V. Dope. Oh well, there it is. Okay, so now if we select this edge up here, it should correspond to its nearest neighbor straight across, and it does. Now we can move and sew with the unselected, and we'll continue on here. That one looks like it lines up just fine, so move and sew with the selected. Okay, now we can do these edges here. So select those, and this one will just rotate automatically, so we'll move and sew to the selected. Select these edges right here, and let's get the unselected edges in view, and make sure that they correspond. It looks like they do. Yes, they do. Okay, so we can just move and sew with the selected. Pops right into place. I think you get the idea, so I'll just kind of shut up. And these ones also correspond, so move to selected. Oops. Okay, up arrow again. Yep. Let's make sure those correspond. Yeah, so this set should go over there. Okay, so those ones are good too. So move it to selected. That's basically it right there for the die cut on the exterior facing section, except for the top part here. We're gonna just move that whole island over, and well, you'll see. We want this to occupy the main 0 to 1 on the U and V in the UV space. And then the other islands can occupy their own space, or maybe we'll just pack it all together. But the most important part is that this island here and this island right here occupy the most space in the UV map. So we're going to have to scale these islands a little bit, but we don't want to scale just those islands. If we need to scale anything, we need to scale everything accordingly. Otherwise, they'll be different relative to each other. We want them the same, and that otherwise it could cause problems with texturing. Unless, of course, you're texturing in a you know, a 3D program like 3D Coat or even in Modo. But we might be using Photoshop for some stuff, or even Illustrator. So let's make sure we scale everything. In fact, what we could probably do is select. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's just let's see. Let's just select these two islands, and then we'll pack them. We don't want to orient them. We want to keep it exactly the same. We do want to stretch and pack them, and we'll give it a 5% gap, and then we'll base it off the bounding box. So that's obviously too small. What we'll do is we'll just select everything. We'll use the scale tool, and then we'll just scale it on in until they both fit. Okay. Let's move it over to the left. Let's grab this island here, move it up, right about there. Select this island as well, and now activate the scale tool, and we're going to change the action center to screen. And we're going to click over here, somewhere around the center. We're going to grab that circle control to scale both axes and just fit those right on in. And we could probably go a little higher. Just a touch. Oops. Okay, that fits a little better. Alright, so now this is occupying quite a bit more space on the UV map than it was before. And we need to scale everything else by this amount down here in the transform. So we'll copy that, 96%, and then select all of these islands. Oops. There we go. Activate the scale tool. Let's click on this so that both values are edited, and I guess I'll just type it in instead of pasting. So now everything's exactly the same size in relationship to each other. So now let's see if we can optimize the UVs a little bit. We could probably combine everything into one texture map, if at all possible, but we're not going to scale anything. So turn off stretch, and we'll just pack them based on bounding box. Looks like it scaled it anyway. Why does it do that? Alright, let's turn off bounding box. Maybe that's why. And it probably is. Let it do its thing. And it scaled it anyway. Oh, Modo, why are you scaling on me automatically? Well, let's see. We'll undo that. Let's see if we can just pack these ones here. We'll do just a couple islands at a time. And we'll leave orient off. Okay, so everything's the same size, but it packed it within the confines of what we already have, which we don't really want. That's okay though. Let's select these islands. We'll move these to a different UV space, and in fact we'll just kind of move them out of the way. Okay, move those up there just for good measure, and now we shall pack them. Just want to pack, don't want to stretch. Okay, that's good. We could probably, in fact, just do all of these parts here. Okay, pack UVs. Let's go ahead and orient these ones. Maybe not. We don't want to move those. What the heck. You know, it doesn't really matter for these portions. So let's just align them vertically. We'll align everything vertically. That'll optimize it pretty well. Okay, that's good. Doesn't look like it scaled anything, so that's also very good. Okay, now we can move these back to 0 to 1. Make sure it fits within the confines of 0 to 1, and it does. Alright, let's take a quick look at this UV map just to make sure everything is cool. And it does look pretty good. So let's take one last look at the mesh, and we'll go to the modeling view. And we want quad model. There we go. Let's look in the perspective view. Shift A to view the model. Let's turn the light off so we can just get a OpenGL lit. Okay, everything looks pretty good. What we want to do now is run the mesh cleanup command, because I know pretty sure I saw some floating vertices. We don't want to merge vertices because some of these edges are sharing vertices from the different sections, so the top and the front and so on. So do not merge vertices with this. That should do it, and it looks like it fixed 12 face normals, and it should have cleaned up any of those floating vertices if there in fact were some. So that's it. We're done. All right.